Hello, welcome to the 104th episode of the Karstcast movie-cast. You didn't think we'd make it this far.
We'd make it this far.
Yeah. Jeff,
I'm one of your hosts, Jeffrey Borslow.
And
follow me on at Jeffrey Borslow on Twitter and Instagram. Just hit 1,000 Instagram followers. Big numbers.
Dude, I don't know why. I don't remember why I did this, but I just went on your page, I think yesterday. I think I was going to message you about something, and I caught it just when you were at 1,000. I was like, whoa, Jeff hit 1,000.
Yeah.
That's very exciting.
I noticed it, and then I looked it later, and then I was back down to 999. But then I went back up to 1,000.
Ah, okay. That was also me. I changed my mind.
Yeah.
What is the most common type of rock found on Earth's surface?
The most common type of rock.
Yep.
I don't even know if I understand what this question means.
Like any type of rock. You know how rocks have breeds the way dogs have breeds?
Like the way dogs have breeds, of course. Yeah, so like when people have pet rocks.
Yeah, that's my best way of describing
breed is your
it.
rock?
It's a mix.
Yeah.
It's a mutt.
So is this like a material the rock is made out of?
Yeah. Like granite, that's a type I would say.
Right. But that's not the answer.
No. So I guess I gave you a tip there.
That is not granite. Because I was considering saying granite.
Yep. It's another one. The most common.
Sulfur?
Nope. It's sedimentary. Yeah, I don't know if you're going to get that one, but a little science one to throw you off.
Okay.
Jeff and I want to start this new segment where we get into the news. Because
the movie
news. Well,
not the regular news. Well, sometimes
we'll
the regular news.
Randomly into the news, yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess the big news of this week to kick off this new segment, because we just want to get right down to movie business.
Right.
Is apparently, and let me get the pay. I was not ready. L.A. celebrates return of movie theaters. I've been waiting for this for a year. In quotes. So movie theaters are apparently back in L.A. Here's the thing about this. I was shocked to see this and to see all the posts online because I'm like, theaters have been back for a while, at least where I'm at.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was confused where after you said the news, you said a quote.
Yeah, it
that
said,
I've been waiting for this for a year. Was that a quote by you or was that a
headline
quote in the news source?
For this Variety article, it is LA celebrates return of movie theaters. Quote, I've been waiting for this for a year. Unquote.
So that's like the sub-headline from the article?
Fully in the headline. It's a weird...
Wait, who's been waiting for it?
That's what you got to figure out. Apparently, it was one patron named Bronte.
Okay, so Bronte's been waiting for this for a year.
Bronte's been waiting for it for a year. It literally just says one patron named Bronte said, I work in a restaurant, so I get to do that all the time, but coming to the theater, that's like something special. So
pretty much our first news segment is very specific. It's very targeted. We tell you the news about what Bronte in Los Angeles is thinking.
This was, and in my defense, where I go for movie news, I think this is the most reliable source is Variety.
Is Bronte's Facebook page?
Bronte's blog. Bronte the movie guy. Yeah. No, but Variety posted this. I don't really... And then the next source they went with is... I'll just read the whole thing. Quote, movies aren't the same when you watch them in a living room or in a computer. That's not...
When you watch a movie...
In a computer.
Is this the Variety that I am aware of? Or is this just... You're just looking at a variety of things and reading them?
The quote continues, it's a completely different feeling in a theater, unquote. A moviegoer named Jesus said. But Jesus, it's probably pronounced Jesus. That's a common name.
It's probably.
I just it's... Yeah. Ronnie is another name here, and that's about it.
So for this piece, did Variety have someone on the street and they just walked around and asked a few people about what they thought about the movie theaters coming back?
Yeah, that weren't even going to the theater. I would love to know where they... Okay, Variety senior writer Matt Donnelly visited the AMC theaters in Century City to check in with patrons about going back to the movies.
Okay, see, the context, that is what I needed before we got into this.
It's really a normal article. I just made it as weird as I could have.
No, okay, I understand where Matt Donnelly's coming from.
Yeah. So movie theaters are back.
Have you gone to a movie theater yet?
No.
This year?
Not well. I did back in like March before this all went down, and
so that's not this year. You mean last March?
Last March, yeah. I guess that's
so like a full year ago.
Yep. It's been nope. I have not been back, and but I'm really like I can see myself going back pretty soon. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And this is a great segue actually into some fun news from both of us, because we got vaccinated.
Vaccinated.
Not because
on the same day though, right?
Weirdly, the same day. Yeah. Honestly, with the time difference too, might have been the same time. But actually,
no,
not
it wasn't
really.
because you were a few hours before me. Yeah.
But this isn't because we're essential workers for being podcast hosts. But in a way, we're still.
Yeah, we're definitely not essential. I want to be very clear. Your lives you would not see a marked difference in any aspect of your lives.
Yeah.
Except for a few of you, maybe you would have to listen to something else to go to sleep.
Yeah. I've been thinking recently about starting a side. I've always wanted to make a sleep podcast, and I'm like, I feel like
you're cutting me out.
No, well, no. I'm not breaking up with you, but I'm like, it'd be really funny if I had a sleep podcast, and I don't take this as an insult.
You have a good voice for it. I want to say that.
Well, I have a mundane voice. I think I
no,
can
it's
drag.
calming. You intentionally emphasize the calming aspect of your voice. I think it's very apparent to anyone who watches your videos that you do that on purpose.
Yeah, in some videos, yeah, I do. Especially recently, I've been really tapping into that. I'm like, when I can be calm, I can be. There was a period of time where I was just speaking obnoxiously. Anyways, what was I saying? A sleep podcast. Where I played GeoGuessr audio only. I think that's very boring.
Would you have the clicking?
Yeah, clicking too. That's like ASMR. It's like, I think that's so boring. It would work.
Okay, and you're kind of like
you're describing
maybe,
settings and
you're like, is this Ghana? I'm not sure.
We have some nice trees, some red dirt, a hill with a man on the top of it. That's a little sneak peek of what it would entail.
Yeah, you're like every person in Google Maps, their face is blurred out. Who is this blurry man? Maybe a friend of mine. I'll never know.
But more importantly, where's he from?
Two ships passing in the night.
Yeah.
Ships off the coast of Ghana.
Off the coast of, I hope Ghana. Oh, apparently it was Spain. The two ships off the coast of apparently Spain. Yeah. But I today, and I don't think I'm seriously thinking about doing this. I don't hate the idea, but today I just tested it. I recorded myself while playing for an hour to see what it sounded like. And halfway through it, I was like, wow, I yawned a lot. I was like, this is really boring. So I don't know.
which is good for a sleep podcast.
It is good for us. I'm like, I guess.
You're like, wow, this is really boring. So
really,
good job, me.
Imagine anyone listening to that, but maybe one day.
Yeah, you know what? I'll help on that. I think.
Please, yeah, I would love the help on. Yeah.
We can I can watch you play it on Zoom, and I'll say, I would scroll to your left and left click.
Yeah, left. I'm like
on
We get
South
into a
Africa.
heated argument in ASMR. We're like, it's
You're like,
clearly
this is
Estonia.
not South Africa. This is clearly Tunisia.
It's clearly they're just driving on the right, and you're like, but that's my.
I like how
left.
we're saying countries that you would never confuse ever.
No. I was gonna say
Like they have different languages.
when I said
so
Ghana
if you
and
see any
Spain,
sign-
there's no way
Yeah.
I'd get those mixed up.
Right, and like you would never get Tunisia and South Africa wrong because one of them, everything's in Arabic, and one of them,
most
not.
things are actually in English. Yeah, in South Africa, I've come to
no,
well, not everywhere. South Africa's big, so
yep.
it's the south of Africa.
But South Africa and Namibia, that could be quite easy to confuse.
Yeah, right. We should get into today's movie now.
Today's movie. Now, I want to say that this movie that we're about to talk about is the third film that we've ever talked about on this podcast that has Mike Brunleib in it.
Third? Wait, what are the other ones? Pilots
So
is
he
one of
was-
them.
Yeah, and the first episode of Paid Research Study.
So yeah, three feature films.
Mike Brunleib eats meat out of a bag.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and that played at the Music Box.
Yeah.
Just like Trial of Chicago 7.
Trial of Chicago 7. I think it played.
So
at the
Mike
Music
Brunleib,
Box. Yeah.
I imagine it did. I'm just gonna assume it did.
Yeah.
Actually, I guess it probably didn't because it's Netflix, and they do like limited runs.
I saw Marriage
their
Story
Oscar
at the
films.
Music Box. Yeah.
Right, but I just mean this came out during the pandemic, so I guess it probably didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been keeping a close watch of what they've been playing there, and there's been a few that I really wanted to attend.
I will say that would be the hardest trivia question in the world.
What?
Which film that Mike Brunleib has been in has played at the Music Box? Because someone would look at on Letterboxd and be like, "Oh, Trial of Chicago 7." And you're like, actually, no, it's episode 1 of Paid Research Study.
Directed by Jeffrey Borslow. Okay, this is a 2020 film. It's getting lots of Oscar buzz. It got nominated for a good amount of Oscars, which is why we're talking about it, to be honest. We are kind of just going through what we haven't... We've talked about most of the Oscar-nominated films for Best Picture, to be honest.
Have we?
Yep.
What are all of them? I didn't look.
That's actually great. Let's look at the Best Picture noms. I know we've talked about, let's see, Sound of Metal, Promising Young Woman, Nomadland. We can count... We didn't talk about it for this podcast, but we talked about Mank on Intercut.
Now, here's the thing. I haven't seen Mank.
You haven't seen it, though.
Because we didn't... On Intercut, that was actually the one that we didn't talk about when we did that whole thing.
Yeah, because
we
it
left
wasn't
Mank out
yet,
of the...
Actually, I didn't talk about so we haven't talked about Mank. To be honest, we've only talked about 4... We've talked about 50% at this point. We're after this episode, we will have. We haven't talked about Minari yet, and that's a really good one.
Yeah, I haven't seen that, but I will soon.
We haven't talked about Judas and the Black Messiah. That's another one I'd love to talk about. I think that's a great movie. We haven't talked about The Father, which I believe is unavailable online at this moment. We'd have to go see it in a theater. And we haven't talked about Mank. Yeah, so that's the rundown.
I mean, we're like making our way through.
Yeah, I think we
list.
can easily complete it, which would be impressive. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be impressive for you, someone who does a live stream of different aspects of the Oscars,
all of them.
Right, it'd be kind of weird if you're like, "How did this lose to this?" And even though you haven't seen one of them, that'd be kind of weird.
Well, that has happened a lot in the past, where I'm like, I haven't seen this. I don't. And but anyways, The Trial of the Chicago 7. This is an Aaron Sorkin movie, directed by Aaron Sorkin, but also written.
I will say that it feels like an Aaron Sorkin movie.
Oh, yeah. Yes, it does.
Oh, you have lots of people talking to each other.
Yep. A lot of dialogue going on. And the synopsis reads, the film is based on the infamous 1969 trial of 7 defendants charged by the federal government with conspiracy and more, arising from the countercultural protests in Chicago at the 1968 Democratic National Convention. The trial transfixed the nation and sparked a conversation about mayhem intended to undermine the U.S. government. That's kind of I mean, it's solid, yeah. It's more about the event, I feel like, than the actual movie, but that the movie is about the event. title is The Trial.
I'm not sure what you just said.
I don't know what I was trying to get at either. Because
I can't tell if your point is that the movie is more about the event than the trial, or more about the trial than the event.
I just expected one character name to pop up in the synopsis, but that doesn't mean it's not a bad synopsis. It's a bad. I take back everything I said. It's a good synopsis. I just wanted to hear a name. That's all. Because who are the Chicago 7?
I can tell you, Mike Brunley was not one of them.
Nope. I guess
Mike Brunley was Eddie, which I don't know. I didn't know that he's in it for like 10 seconds, where he's one of the people that introduces. Because I know once I brought up Mike Brunley, I had to point out where he was in the film. He comes in at the 54-minute mark. He's one of the guys who introduces a cop, like an undercover cop, to the main characters.
Gotcha. That's a pretty big role.
It's like maybe 5-10 seconds.
Yeah,
movie, but he's in it and he speaks. So
yeah.
There you go.
For the record, the Chicago 7, for anyone who hasn't watched the movie or wants to know, I feel like I should just catch up on it. It was Abby Hoffman, Jerry Rubin, David Dellinger, Tom Hayden, Rennie Davis, John Froines, and Lee Weiner.
It's Weiner.
So Jeff, what do you think about the movie?
So as I briefly touched on, it does feel like an Aaron Sorkin film.
Yeah.
You get lots of these. In this case, it's courtroom. In Social Network, it's like boardroom kind of, but still like litigation. There's a lot of litigation. That's really, I think, the one word you'd use to describe Sorkin.
Yeah.
Litigation.
At all angles.
Yeah. So, but I mean, it's the thing that's the magic of Sorkin is for something that on the surface level, if you just looked at the general overview of the script, and you're like, wow, pretty much all of this takes place, either in a courtroom or talking about a trial that's about to be shown in a courtroom.
Yeah.
It feels like it should not flow as well as it does. Mm-hmm. And it does flow pretty well. It was a pretty brisk, 2-hour watch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That is something that I will always, and something I knew going into this, is like the thing that Sorkin does best is he can make anything very engaging. And albeit, I think did I cut out for a second? Siri started.
No, yeah, you're there.
All right, cool. I didn't touch anything in Siri. Siri's going again. Anyways, sorry. I'm very. Oh, maybe this thing. He's very. Yeah, I got my point across. He's just a very engaging director. And I think we've talked about him a little bit on the podcast with what is it, Moneyball, and I think
Moneyball.
One other movie, but
The Social Network.
The
which
Social
I don't know if we
Network.
talked about on this podcast.
Yeah. But I think like Steve Jobs was the first case, and I don't think he directed Steve Jobs.
I have not seen Steve Jobs.
Really?
Or is it just called Jobs? Or is it called Steve Jobs?
Steve Jobs is the good one, yeah. And the Jobs.
And then there's the other one that's the bad one.
That's the bad one, yeah.
Wait, which one is Ashton Kutcher in?
Jobs. Ashton Kutcher's famously in Jobs, playing Steve Jobs. Sorry. And it's not good.
Yeah.
But,
well, okay. So, sorry. Briefly, I'll just say that I kind of find like Sorkin scripts as again, I've seen half ish, but I always find that they're so specific to whatever the film is. Where in this case, it's like very specific legal type of stuff, and in Moneyball it's all this baseball talk that is really not that interesting to most people.
Yeah.
But I find it similar to when I watch people who are very good at one thing on YouTube. So like the lockpicking lawyer, they find a way to make you interested in that topic. Yeah. That you normally would never be interested in. Like I do not care at all about how many pins are in this lock, but for some reason it's very engaging. So I don't know, I kind of get the same feeling watching this film as I do from those types of YouTube videos.
Yeah, that is so true. Because I think that is why he gets a lot of shit, because he has a very specific writing style that to a lot of people comes off as a little egotistical or whatever. Like, it's just like so proud of what it sounds like. But it has every right to be, because in my opinion, it's so, like I said earlier, it's so engaging and so interesting. And I think it's so cool when like the subject of the film does not matter. Like you just need to know that it's like written by him to get you to watch it. And that's definitely the case with this one. It's very engaging, and for its runtime, it's like 2 hours and 10 minutes, flies by in like what feels like 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And I think that's that's cool, especially for like a courtroom drama. I love courtroom dramas, especially when they're done well. And I think this is an okay courtroom drama, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. There's one very early decision made in this film that caught me kind of off guard right when it happened.
Yeah.
And it took me a little bit to recover from. But this film cuts straight to the trial.
Yeah, it gets right
they
into
introduce all the characters, and they're like, and now they're on trial.
Well, that's what when I first watched it, I was like, I know this is called The Trial of the Chicago 7, but I was like, oh, this entire movie is gonna be the trial.
It's just the trial. I know. I thought there would be like 20, 30 minutes of context.
Yeah.
And then they'd be like, okay, now's the trial. But they're like, here's the characters. It's all the context you need.
Well, that's what
trial.
Yeah, and I think it works in that way. I kind of like, well, it gets into like the context and the backup stuff later, which is also an interesting
it's interwoven
choice. Yeah.
Right.
But that is it works. It definitely
for me it works pretty well. I think it definitely was jarring when it happened.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, did my movie skip ahead?
No, yeah. You're in the trial.
It's like I feel like I missed 20 minutes here, but I don't know. I think it's interesting to then convey the information, woven into the later parts of the film, kind of in the recesses of the trial.
Yeah.
It's interesting because this is a historical film, so a lot of people already know the events. So I don't know. It's weird, but I think that this specific movie, I think that a lot of people probably were not even aware of this that are younger.
No. Yeah. I mean, what, you're speaking about the event?
Yeah, like the actual, reason they were on trial.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, I personally was like kind of unfamiliar with it. I knew about it, but this was a relatively new thing for me as well, which is but what did you think? I kind of want to talk about, I think because it's mostly people talking to each other, like a huge part about the movie is the performances that go on. Like it honestly plays out a lot like a play. And I'm just curious, like, what'd you think of the performances?
The performances? Yeah.
I'm on the fence about them, in my opinion, but yeah. Unless you don't have any opinion at all.
No, I have opinions. I mean, I think that, like, all of the performances were fine. Sacha Baron Cohen, he was obviously, normally he has an English accent. He was trying to do, like, what was that, like a New York accent?
Yeah.
But every now and then it sounded like it would slip into, like, Borat. And obviously, most people don't have that issue where they don't have these really famous characters where their accent is one of the things that makes them famous.
Yeah.
But just when he was trying to like form certain sounds, it just was it was a little bit distracting a couple times. Just like a couple times.
Yeah. That is fair. I feel like Sacha Baron Cohen got unlucky in that. I mean, he didn't get unlucky. He had a great year, but Borat 2 and this coming out around the same time, playing completely different people, it's just like he commits so hard to Borat that it definitely is hard to separate him, I feel like, from that character. Yeah. But I will say, and I'm glad I can finally speak on this, there is Jeremy Strong in this movie, who plays, let me just get the Jerry Rubin. And as someone who's been, I'll just like I actually just finished watching Succession, like right before we started watching this. He's Kendall Roy in Succession. I'm glad I watched this before I watched Succession because I heard he's just, I don't know. I can't separate him from that character in the same way I feel like Sacha Baron Cohen can't be separated from Borat. But even before watching Succession, I really loved him in this movie. I think him and Sacha are easily like the highlights. But
how did you feel about Eddie Redmayne?
So we are going to talk about Eddie Redmayne because
that's the one I feel like I could see being one of the more controversial performances in this film.
Yeah, and like it's just Eddie Redmayne. I said this in my Letterboxd review. This is, I think, all I said in my Letterboxd review was I think I just don't like Eddie Redmayne, and then I gave it my star rating. And it's because I just think he's very irritating to watch. I can usually come up with but like a decent argument for why an actor doesn't work for me. And Eddie Redmayne, I just can't. I mean, he just always comes across like he's overacting or that he's kind of out of place or not on the same page as everyone else. I just saw a tweet today about Nicholas Hoult, who is a supporting actor in a ton of movies like Mad Max, The Favorite. I think those are the two most well-known right now. And he always like he's just a great example of someone who blends into the material really well. And I think that is super important. Whereas Eddie Redmayne is always trying to be like the guy that's outshining everybody else around him and trying to like stand out as that actor. When it's like, first of all, that's not him in this movie. I think there are at least like 4 other people in this movie that outshine him. But I'm just like, he doesn't. The only part he fits for in this movie for me is like kind of the corniness of it, because I do think this movie's kind of corny sometimes. But
now, do you think that was the intent of the film, was to be corny?
Yeah, I do, because I mean, you can't watch the ending of this and tell me that it wasn't trying to be like this crowd-pleasing court drama as opposed to this accurate depiction of an event.
Yeah, and then like the Sandlot like type of ending where it's like this guy ended up doing this.
Dude, I was like, is this a parody? There's nothing wrong with those kind of movies. I think there are tons that do it well. But I just thought it was weird.
Movies that are like that usually are not Best Picture films. Yeah. Like, do you think that this was an attempt to make a crowd-pleasing film that people just got confused as to something that was Oscar bait?
It was fully Oscar bait, I think, to be honest. And I think that plays into I think it was both things. It was a crowd-pleasing drama that didn't take the risks that it should have, but was like, obviously this is going to be nominated for Oscars because it's based off a real event and it's got this big ensemble and blah 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 blah.
I don't know. I actually, when you mentioned like other Eddie Redmayne performances, this actually did feel very similar to me to The Theory of Everything in terms of how it was a little bit, there wasn't a lot of risks taken in this film.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they're using a historical thing, but a lot of the actual context of the time. So a lot of the issues that these people were standing for aren't really looked at that in depth. Like, you don't get the feeling of, you know, like the racial tension of the time. They just have one guy who's like, yeah, look, this guy doesn't have a lawyer.
Yeah.
And then they're like, all right, well, he's out of here now. Let's finish the movie.
Yeah. I think all of the racial commentary that this has to make is completely on the surface, and only works in the context of the dialogue that's happening like on the screen. Like, none of it doesn't go any further than one guy yelling at another guy or one person like beating up another person, and it doesn't do anything to really like set any sort of context.
it's not hitting you in an intellectual way.
Yeah.
I feel like it's hitting you in a visceral way, because you're like, wait, that's bad. This guy's getting gagged. What?
Yeah. Exactly.
Where it doesn't take the next intellectual step to try to, talk about any systemic things. It's just, here's a bad thing they're doing to this one dude. And
exactly.
maybe that's evidence of a broader thing happening at this time period in American history. Maybe it's not.
Yeah. It's why I'm like completely down the middle with this movie, because I do agree and stand by what I said at the beginning of this, where it's like, it's incredibly engaging and a pretty like solid courtroom drama. It keeps you on edge. It's like, it does what a movie like this needs to do, but it sacrifices the depth that comes with a subject like this because of that. And in the end, you get exactly what it is, which is just like a crowd pleasing, kind of like satisfying, like we won ending, when it's like, that does not tell the full story here, nor does it feel, I don't know, accurate.
No, I agree. I feel like this event should be something that you should watch whatever the best documentary on it is.
Yeah.
If you're trying to get any kind of sense of what actually happened, because this is really just like the who you want to win's gonna win type of thing.
Yeah.
It's not really, talking about any. It doesn't contextualize itself within the broader time period.
Yeah.
It's just like, this one event happened, and that's why these people are on trial. Now watch what happens.
It definitely
it makes weird moves, like it's trying to humanize the prosecutor in a weird way, where it's like he has this internal conflict, and at the end, maybe he's not such a bad guy.
Yeah. It kind of puts everybody at like this equal level playing. Like there's just, every character is kind of on the same side. I don't really know how to describe it.
Yeah,
but
like when someone loses in this, they're like, "Oh, those rascals."
Yeah.
They got me again.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just
the stakes don't really feel that high ever in this film.
Totally.
Like they feel like a little bit high, but then like when you think about it, you're like, I guess probably not.
Right. It just plays it safe, and that does the trick for a lot of people. It definitely does it for Oscar voters. I just think I've been comparing this to Green Book a lot, which is not. I think this is better than Green Book. I think Green Book is leagues cornier than this, and also just it's just weird. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth, whereas this doesn't leave a bad taste in my mouth. I'm just like, oh, that was whatever.
It's just
that was okay.
vanilla.
It's very vanilla. Exactly.
Yeah,
that's a great term.
Yeah, I think that it doesn't do. It's very well made. Like it's shot very well for a courtroom thing. It's very tight script. It's very entertaining as a story. It just doesn't necessarily do justice to the actual source material.
Yeah, no pun intended.
In terms of the fact that it's an important event in American history. Yeah, that is, I think, undertold.
Yeah,
and it doesn't really do anything to. I mean, I guess it's going to make a lot more people aware of it, but it's not making them aware of it in a way that's as important as it could be.
Yeah.
Because it has literally the same ending as The Sandlot.
Yeah. Well, I also, another thing, bringing this back to Sorkin, I think a lot of what I love about his movies are his protagonists. Like, I think he always nails that. And I always feel like I get the full picture of one person. Like Steve Jobs, obviously, Social Network, Mark Zuckerberg, Moneyball, whoever that guy's name was. And this, I don't even feel like I really have a full idea of who the protagonist is. It's 7 people, obviously. It's like
I feel like there's too many of them. That's a great point.
And I don't know. I think he focuses on the wrong people, to be honest. I wish I could have learned more about Bobby Seale, who I think is the heart of the film. I don't think he spends nearly enough time on his story as he does like Eddie Redmayne, and I don't know. It felt weird and underdeveloped by the end. Like it felt.
I agree with that completely, because when you see The Social Network or Moneyball, you understand the motivations like completely of these characters, and you understand their flaws and stuff. In this, you feel like you start to understand it, and then like movie's over.
Right.
Good guys
on
top.
On the team. Yep. So yeah, that's kind of. I feel like we had a pretty solid discussion about this.
Yeah. Okay. So Karsten,
Jeff.
we've talked a lot about Aaron Sorkin.
Yeah, we have.
More than we've ever talked about Aaron Sorkin. So I just thought of a couple Sorkin type ideas, and I want to hear which one you think that, like, of these ideas. So you have to pick one. Which of them you think Sorkin should develop into a script?
Okay.
So here's the first one. About this one's it's like about the process of when they had the team of people design the really efficient routes that UPS trucks take. So it's just like you can have them in, like, you know, the boardroom discussing it, and then you have all these statisticians. Because they have the GPSs where UPS, you know, package delivery trucks.
Right.
They take, like, by far the most efficient route and have the best GPSs because
it is a very
they have so many trucks.
Complicated system, yeah. Very interesting how it all works out.
Do you think that would be an interesting Aaron Sorkin movie?
Well, I would love to hear what else you have. I'm going to say yes for that, because I would love a movie that focuses on the route system.
So this one might have to wait a couple of years because the subject matter is, I think, just being released like now or in a couple months.
Okay.
It's about Nike, how they just invented the shoe that you can put on by just stepping on the back of the other shoe.
Yep, I know about this shoe. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like just, you know, the design process behind making that shoe.
I'm gonna say no for that one. I don't think.
So you think that the UPS one's on top of this?
UPS is on top of a singular shoe.
But you've seen how these shoes work.
Yeah, they're crazy shoes. But
you gonna buy one of these pairs of shoes?
I might buy one someday.
I might buy one too. That'd be kind of cool. Just step on your shoe and then it folds in half, and then you can slip out.
Yeah. Because I fuck up my shoes personally. I don't know about you. I will walk around a lot with a flab under my sock.
Wait, what?
You know, when you're like putting on your shoe and like you can't fully get it into the shoe, like I'm just bad at putting on my shoes.
The tongue of the
back.
Or no, that tongue's like the part
heel,
on top. Like
the
wait,
heel
you
part.
mean there's a flab under there?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I don't. If I'm being completely honest, Siri just turned on again. I don't know why, and I missed what you just said.
I don't understand what it means to have a flab under your
the
heel.
flab, like the heel. You know what I mean? Like there's the shoe, and then there's the back part that supports.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll put it on, and that flab will get tucked
the part that goes under your foot,
on
top of like the bottom. It's just like cushioning your foot. The foot insole.
Yeah. I get it fucked up a lot. Don't make the movie. That's what I'm.
But wait. But then you just decide, my foot is uncomfortable in this shoe. Oh well.
I'll walk around. Yeah. Because it's better than sticking my fingers down there again.
Is it?
Yeah.
Also, the final point on this: how often does this happen?
More than it should. I think we're on. I think we got it mixed up. I wish I had a shoe to. Actually, I do. Give me a second.
I just feel like you're over. So I don't understand how this can be happening that much.
So this is the shoe, right? I don't wear this shoe
a
lot. It's got this big. So I'm putting my foot in, and maybe this thing comes down. This is a bad example because it's a high top.
So are you talking about the back of the shoe?
Yeah. So it's like that, and that I'll just like I'll have my. You know what? I have a portable camera.
That's actually worse than what I thought you meant.
It's like I'll walk around like this. You know what I mean?
Why?
Because I just don't feel like adjusting. You know what I mean?
I honestly, maybe you should just have shoes that are easier to put on.
Yeah, that's why I don't wear these that often.
Yeah. So anyways, the next idea, it's about when they were passing Obamacare, because initially in 2009 they wanted to do a public option, but then you had Joe Lieberman, who was like a huge coward and a terrible senator, and also just he looked weird.
Yeah.
I don't like him.
Okay.
But anyways, he like refused to be the 60th vote for that, so then they had to pass current Obamacare, which is not that good.
Yep.
I mean, better than no ability for
Right,
still insures
Right.
millions and millions more people than not having it, but it's not a public option. Now, it would just be a movie where Aaron Sorkin can just dunk on Joe Lieberman over and over again and make him look bad.
Sure.
Because it has a lot of the legal jargon where they're discussing Obamacare.
That's an
It can just be people
actual movie that I think would really work. It's very
and they can just be like, Joe
important
Lieberman, you stupid idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that could be good. And then, so is that better than the UPS one?
Mm-hmm. I think that's the
Okay.
top. That seems like a legitimate movie.
Now, I have one final idea.
Okay.
And this one you might like.
Okay.
Do you remember when Wells Fargo got in a lot of trouble a few years ago? The bank, Wells Fargo.
Yes, I do.
Do you remember what they were doing?
No, not entirely.
Okay, so here's what they were doing. All of their low-level bankers had a quota of new accounts per month they needed to be able to open.
Uh-huh.
And they would get reprimanded if they did not meet this quota. But the quota was astronomically high. And just if you look at the numbers, every month you can't keep getting more and more people to open accounts.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. There's only a certain amount of people that live around a bank.
Mm-hmm.
So what they were doing, because you can have multiple accounts, right? So like you could have a savings account, a checking account, and it's all one person.
Yeah.
So what they would do was people that had one account, they would just open up like 7 more accounts in their name and not ever tell the people.
Dog. That's bad.
Which is super illegal. Yeah.
That's not honestly, okay, that's too interesting to be a Sorkin movie. I think I'd like that more in the hands of like Martin Scorsese or something. That's a very good that's a crazy thing that happened. Yeah.
Right? So yeah, I mean, I feel like it would kind of have to be about the way that it was discovered and then
totally.
the investigation into that.
Right.
But I think that could be a good movie.
That's really cool, yeah. So that's what you got.
That one or Obamacare? What's the winner?
The winner, I'm going to say, is Obamacare because I think that one has a bit more of an uphill battle, which I think would make for a better movie, in my opinion. I think Sorkin would make a much more interesting movie out of that.
Now, we do know that the Obamacare one, they lose and don't get the public option.
Yeah,
so that'd be kind of a downer.
No, yeah, but, I prefer that over. That's why I don't think I see it happening, because I think Sorkin favors
Sorkin wants
he likes those happy endings.
because he wants to have everyone going like, hooray, and then they do a freeze frame.
Yeah. Honestly, for the genius idea here, a Wells Fargo one, and this is possible because it's happened in the past. Written by Aaron Sorkin, directed by Fincher. I think that would be a very good movie. In my opinion, but.
All right, anyone who listens to this podcast,
get on
maybe
that.
if you've like some kind of 7 degrees from Aaron Sorkin thing going on where you know someone who knows someone, just
right.
Pass along the idea. I'll take just like an executive producer credit or something.
Well, me too, because I'm the one that said David.
Yeah, I mean that's not at all the credit I would get for coming with the idea.
Right,
there
but
actually is credits for that. Like
we can.
But and I have nothing to do with the actual production, so I don't know why I would have.
Yeah. Well, you never know.
The executive
you could
producer
step in.
Credit.
Yeah. What are you thinking?
Maybe I could find them a location. I'd be like, so there's a Wells Fargo like a mile from my parents' house. You can probably film in there.
Yeah.
I'm like, producer.
Yeah.
Anyways, we'll get back to. We never actually did rate this film.
Yeah. What are you thinking for a score here?
I feel pretty good about a 3.5.
Okay.
Because the thing is that I think it's an engaging film.
Right.
It's just my issues with it are more that the the subject matter is a little more serious than the film gives it credit
Yeah.
for.
Well,
But I think as a film, it is very engaging.
totally. I'm sticking with my original 3. I think
Yeah,
it's
that's fine.
it's again, I think a 3 is like right down the middle for me. And
Yeah.
I will touch on this. I may have come across it, and it's only because it's the favorable winner at this point for Best Picture. But I don't think this is the worst Best Picture nominee. I think Mank is below this for me. I think this is
Ooh, I still have to watch.
tad bit more engaging than Mank is. I think Mank is a bit of a mess, but yeah, that's
now,
where I stand.
What film do you want to win Best Picture?
Nomadland. Yeah, I think Nomadland was really good, and it'd be cool to see a movie like that win. As much as I'm rooting for Minari as the underdog, I think it actually has a shot.
I'm looking forward to seeing Minari.
Minari's great. I do think it has a small chance, but I think the Head Trial doesn't have that good of a chance as I take it back. It totally does. It's between the Trial of the Chicago 7 and Nomadland at this point, and I do think it's going to be Nomadland, and I want it to win. So yeah. Anyways, I think that does it for this movie discussion.
Time of day?
Time of day. This I have to go 7 because it's the Trial of the Chicago 7, and I do think it's a good like night movie. Like make a night out of it.
Like early night, because it's
Yeah.
not. You don't want to finish your this because it's not. It doesn't give you enough. Like at the end, you're like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, good guys.
Talk it over at dinner if you have time for dinner afterwards.
Afterwards,
Nah,
You're starting
9
at 7. You're
p.m.
eating dinner at like 9:15.
Hey, I'm gonna be having my dinner after this, and it's gonna be
and that's also
way too late.
It would be 9:15 if you literally had dinner like delivered. If you were cooking
Yeah.
dinner, it would probably take you till like 10.
Take
to
you a minute.
If you watched it then.
Yeah.
You probably want to eat beforehand.
So
So I'm gonna agree with 7, but I'm gonna say eat before.
Yeah, have some dinner before.
Snacks after.
Oh,
Speaking of snacks, I just want to say check out Karsten Rundquist. Type Karsten Rundquist into YouTube.
Yep.
And check out
that
his
video.
latest video.
Yep. It's
Where he tries a bunch of different snacks. Now,
Right.
I do have one quick bone to pick with you.
okay. Did you watch the video?
I did.
Oh, yeah. What did you think?
And the butter, you buttered the popcorn.
I did double buttered it actually. Come on, are you out of your mind? What? You have to butter the popcorn.
No, you
I think
can't
that's-
butter the popcorn. There's butter that comes on the popcorn. You don't need to put extra liquid butter on the popcorn.
Yeah, no, yeah, you do. At the movies, they butter it.
No, like the you're talking about the hand pump of butter?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no, because the popcorn comes buttered.
I get
already,
it
like
salted
a little bit of butter.
too, salt and butter.
No, you get salted is fine. But
Yeah.
here's my issue with liquid butter is it gets all over your hands.
Yeah, fine. You lick the hands.
And then and you sit down, you get popcorn all over you, and you just get a bunch of butter all over your shirt.
You wash it, but it doesn't come out because butter stains.
It doesn't come out, dude. I'm not ruining my shirt to eat some gross wet popcorn.
I bring a shirt you don't like. You know what I mean? Anyways,
Dude, it makes the popcorn wet.
it
That's
kind
all I'm
of.
saying.
I prefer a lot of butter.
How recently have you had popcorn in a movie theater that did not have butter on it?
Never, because I don't.
Okay,
do that.
so I'm
I
gonna
always
tell you
get it
something.
buttered.
Try that.
It's
and
too
then see how you
plain.
feel. Try it one
it's
time.
so dry. I don't like dry. I like a
No,
wet.
then that's why you
bucket.
get a drink with it, dude. I'm telling
I don't
you,
get
the
drinks at
best
the
way is
movies.
you get a large soda,
Don't like
a
soda.
large Coke
Yep.
with the popcorn.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. The popcorn makes you thirsty. You drink that soda or an icy, dude. Sometimes they have ices. I know you tried one. I saw
I
that.
don't like the ices.
You
yeah.
waited too long.
I
You
did
waited
wait.
too long.
It was really. We were in the
It was
car.
like half full.
I was speeding on the way home to get.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Overall, though, solid video.
thanks. Do you like Junior Mints? I've had a lot of people.
I love Junior Mints.
Okay, a lot of people been like, "Fuck you for that," and I was like, "What?"
No, Junior Mints are good.
All right. We have some
And,
questions.
dude, okay,
Oh,
last thing. I
right.
promise. Last thing about that. The cookie dough bites.
yeah,
They're great.
they're so good. They're so good.
They're perfect. You should never eat them if you're not watching a movie because they're terrible.
They're
for you.
terrible otherwise. Yeah, but
It's like you're eating a chocolate covered egg.
when I'm watching a movie, they're fantastic.
They're perfect movie snack. Like I've eaten a whole box of them before, and it's like 1,000 calories, and I'm like, yeah, fine.
Fuck it. Well, we have some questions. This one actually, this one's a $15 patron, so we will answer it. It's just that we've touched on it a little bit. But these come from either the Patreon or the subreddit. This one comes from Grant Gow, and it's a $15 patron. It is biggest Oscar noms, snubs, and surprises this year. And now, Jeff, I don't know how up to date you are on the Oscars.
I didn't know what the nominations were until you told me this episode.
Yeah.
I'm not huge on awards.
No.
If I'm not getting them, if I'm getting an award, I'll show up.
Yeah.
But I Pilots was not selected.
No. Neither was
Nor
Long
did it
Toast.
meet any eligibility criteria.
Yeah. I was really pushing Long Toast to get that animated short, but didn't come close.
Yep.
I will admit, and this is no news for anyone. As much as I like to say I really do get a kick out of award season, specifically the Oscars. I make a whole night out of it. I think I don't like sports, so this is where I get my
I
adrenaline.
think that I would enjoy it if I watched it with you.
Hey, that's next time.
It's one of those things.
Yeah.
Where, it's like when you're with someone who's invested in it, then you can kind of feel some of the energy around you and be like, I'm now into it. Also, you're probably drinking during it.
Sometimes, yeah.
You are. I know. I saw you go live last year.
Last year, I made the decision the next morning. I was like, well, I'm not doing that again because I got too drunk to a point where it's like I was barely there when Parasite won. I cried, so I was there, but I was like, oh, it goes by quicker when you drink, and that's a good thing and a bad thing.
Right.
And I was like, anyways,
I will be. It's a good thing when you're watching the Green Book. Am I right?
Oh yeah.
I just dunk on Green Book even though I've never seen it.
Never seen it. I will say, this is a good time to say, this year I am going to be doing my Oscar live stream that I did 2 years ago in 2018. I'm going to be doing another live stream, not on Twitch, but on the YouTube channel. So it's going to be a big boy. And
I'll tune in.
Jeff will tune in. It's going to be a big boy. I'm very excited, and it'll be 3 hours of me watching the Oscars, and we can all watch it together and have a good time.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm really
Maybe
excited.
I'll call you for a couple minutes and be like,
yeah,
hey, I see you on the computer.
The big screen. Anyways, to answer that question, my biggest snub was, what was it?
It was Secret Zoo.
There was a big snub this year that didn't get any... Da 5 Bloods, Delroy Lindo.
Oh, wait, Kajillionaire.
Well, yeah, Kajillionaire. I knew it wasn't going to get any
you weren't
love.
expecting that. I know you weren't expecting that to get anything, but I know you liked that a lot. So
really loved that movie. Da
I
5 Bloods
so I think
was severely snubbed. It only got a Best Score nomination, and we both liked it. We did talk about that one, and Delroy Lindo, I think, for Best Actor, didn't get any, and that was...
Wait. Really?
Yeah, he didn't get a damn...
Okay, so that's my biggest snub then.
Right? Kind of crazy. That's
kind of nuts. That's literally a film that is a dramatic film that has one really good performance.
Yeah.
They're like, no.
I think that was a big snub. I really liked I'm Thinking of Ending Things, and that didn't get a single nomination, but I also didn't expect much for that. And this documentary, Dick Johnson is Dead, didn't get a Best Doc nom, and I really liked that one, and it didn't get a...
Wait, what were the documentary nominations?
The documentary nominations, let me look it up. I don't know if Some Kind of Heaven was eligible. Eligible.
Illegible means that you couldn't
read. Yeah. The documentary nominees for this year were The Mole Agent, Collective, My Octopus Teacher, Crip Camp, and Time. I've only seen Time, really loved it. Crip Camp, I'm trying to watch within the next week, as well as Collective. I've heard it's really good. I don't have any interest to see My Octopus Teacher or The Mole Agent. I haven't heard much about it. But yeah, the doc noms, nothing for Feels Good Man, which I thought was great. Nothing for Boys State, which I also thought was great. Nothing for Bloody Nose, Empty Pockets, but I don't think that was going to get anything.
I don't even know if it's technically a documentary. It's very confusing.
Yeah, no one. It's kind of but Anyways, that's kind of my takes.
Yeah.
I'm not actually that bummed with the Oscar noms this year. They're pretty solid.
Yeah. Do you think that it would have been way better for branding if your name was Oscar instead of Karsten?
It would be, but also that'd be so cheesy. I would not want to be named Oscar.
Because you could be like, it's the Oscar live stream.
Yeah. I think that's why I'm like, Oscar Isaac should win an Oscar, because then it'd be kind of funny.
It'd be a good headline.
Yeah, Oscar for the Oscar.
Yeah. Or Oscar.
Oscar.
Or that'd be like Buffalo, Buffalo.
Yeah. I want him to be like, and the Oscar goes to, well, Oscar. You know?
And the Oscar goes to Isaac.
Yeah. This next one comes from Mids Amar. It's like Midsommar, but Mids.
Oh, okay,
Mids
yeah.
Omar.
It
actually could be
glad
someone's
that
name. Yeah. I pronounce
I'm
it
assuming
weird.
it's not, but if it is your name, I'm sorry that we thought it might not have been.
Midsommar. It is if you made a biopic, who would it be about and why? This is actually kind of like the question you answered earlier, but this is about us. Like if we directed a biopic about something.
Yeah. What if I directed one about you?
That would be weird. I mean, you'd be good at it because I feel like we hang out a lot and we talk a lot to each other, but we haven't actually hung out in person a lot.
Not since that last episode where we were in that park the second time.
Yeah.
Which was like
a
May?
long ass time ago. Yeah.
That might have been like
year.
August. I don't know. It might have been like August because I came back for a few weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that your answer?
No, it's not my answer. I was trying to think. Yeah, you go.
I think mine would be on John Lurie, and this is recency bias. He has this show on HBO called Painting with John. I think it's really great. And I'm also just a really big fan. I've been a big fan of his jazz music for a while. He has this really odd alter ego named Marvin Pontiac, and he's got these like really funny and weird albums. He's just a fascinating guy. He's been in some of Jim Jarmusch's movies too as an actor, but he's mostly known for his music, and he's such a weird guy. I think he'd be a very fascinating subject for a biopic. But
yeah, I think it would be fun to do like a musical biopic. Stephen Merritt from Magnetic Fields.
I thought you would say that. Cool.
That'd be fun.
I'd love to see it. I think you would do a good job with that too. Cool. This last one, I should say, comes from R Rockwell 3, and I feel like we've actually answered this a few times, but we like to update answers because we might have something else to say. It is, I'm going to Chicago for a weekend vacation. What should I do / what should I see? Now, this is, whatever I said earlier, it must be different because this is keeping the pandemic in mind if you are going in the middle of a pandemic. I think a lot of Chicago's best features involve live performances and maybe the Music Box Theater. But I'm not going to encourage you to go to any live events.
Right.
But
I mean, yeah. So probably it's gonna want to be like outdoor activities.
Yep.
So like going to like Millennium Park, seeing the Bean.
Yeah.
Maybe they're probably doing architecture tours that are like socially distanced on the boats.
Yeah.
So that'd probably be fun. But yeah, that's the issue. I think there's some things you can hit up that will be good for like a weekend, and then you're gonna want to come back after the pandemic and experience the rest.
Because Chicago is a very great city for, I think, live music. They have like tons of great venues, but as far as outdoor activities, I'd say Lincoln Park. I was just there today. I really like Lincoln Park. It's a beautiful park. It's big. And
what's the weather like in Chicago right now?
Today I hung out in this t-shirt and hammocked, and it was stunning. I mean, I wish I could. It was like in the 60s, I think. 60s and sunny, which was the first day it's been like that since, I think, fall. So really nice.
So I think Chicago was actually warmer than we're in Florida today, because today was the coldest day of the year. Yeah, it was like 58 degrees here today.
Wow.
Yeah, it was high 50s here.
That's still pretty much what it was here, but
Yeah.
Today I busted out the T-shirt and almost went in shorts, but
Now, to be fair, this is the coldest day of the year.
Yeah, that's weird.
Starting on Thursday, it's going to be the high of 78 for like the next week straight.
Damn, man. Well, yeah, I guess.
But yeah, anyways, outdoor activities.
Yeah, I guess for place to get takeout from, because if you don't want to eat inside, Small Cheval has the best burgers and fries in the city, in my opinion. Also get takeout from Tony's Burrito Tex-Mex. Jeff and I are both big fans of it. I think I'm a bit more of a fan than Jeff is.
No, but I am a fan. I used to live right by it for years. And the only thing I would say is that's like a great place if you live here. I don't know if that's where I'd recommend someone visiting Chicago eat.
I disagree. I think it's fantastic. I love Tony's. I think, in my opinion, it's a Chicago what's necessity? Yeah.
Staple.
That's another great.
Like you're stapling it right to Chicago.
Yep. Devil Dogs if you want a good Chicago hot dog, but they're kind of like the major chain for them. You can basically get a good Chicago dog from most places in Chicago. Yeah, and I think that does it for questions. We are going to wrap it up because my voice is getting tired. And yeah, we like
and
to
you know what? Karsten, he works hard, everyone. He's one of the hardest working guys I know, and he needs to rest. He needs a little nap.
He's going to play some Animal Crossing after this and then work on a video about Animal Crossing because that's what my video is.
Really?
Week. Yeah, it's a video game video. But
wow. A little behind the scenes.
To finish these by reading a review, to encourage you guys to leave reviews. We love hearing what you guys have to say. And this one comes from hold on. Okay. This one comes from Maddie Yuss from the United States of America. Subject line, or it's 5 stars. Subject line is love this or love it, comma, but this could help. And it reads, I have it 5 stars because they have great antidotes and laughs. I listen to it every week. It was my number 3rd podcast of the year on Spotify. But I think I have an idea on how it could be better. When COVID isn't what it is now, I think Karsten and Jeff need to go on a vacation somewhere, just the two of them, so they can bond more as friends. No recording, just them making memories together and learning about one another. I say this because of the show. They seem... Oh, Siri. I say this because they seem almost... uncomfortable at times around one another. Like Karsten will tell a joke and then awkwardly be like, that was bad, moving on, instead of them both laughing together at how bad the joke was. They are great co-hosts, but honestly, I think if they build this friendship a bit more and put more time into making memories together outside of the podcast, it could only make it better.
That is, I think, the best review we've had yet.
I picked that before reading it. Because I didn't read these beforehand, but I love that idea. I think Jeff and I should go on vacation together.
Now, the only thing I disagree with is I think we should record while we're doing it.
Yeah, we should make always busting out content.
Yeah, we got to make that content. But no, I would love. I've actually talked briefly with Karsten about maybe traveling to somewhere in Europe together.
Yeah, we have actually.
I saw your face when I said that, and you were like,
I was like, what? We didn't talk about going on vacation.
You were like, what?
But we did actually for when because I think when this is over, both of us want to do Europe traveling in some sort of way. I've decided it'd be expensive. I need to talk to you about budgeting, but I want to do a Scandinavian trip.
We could make that work. I am, as you know, a bit of
travel
a specialist when it comes to traveling very inexpensively.
Yeah.
It is budgeting for travel is one of my biggest passions in life. And also packing.
Yeah.
It's I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm just saying, you've come to the right place.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk more about that. Thank you, Mattius66 for the review. Next, we like to announce our next movie for next week. Very excited about this one. Next week, we are talking about Shiva Baby. It's a 2021
film. So, okay. What is the correct way to pronounce that movie?
Shiva Baby.
Like, for sure, 100%?
Yeah, Shiva Baby. Because it's like, it's kind of like, what is it? Well, actually, I don't really know. but it's Shiva Baby. Why? What did you? How did you think it was pronounced?
No, I just wanted to make sure.
Okay,
cool.
cool.
We didn't want to look dumb.
Dumb, yeah, for sure. Well, we're
we're
talking
not.
Shiva Baby, with a cool guest. I don't actually want to say who it is in case it falls through, but it's a cool guest.
Yeah.
Very excited.
Regardless, even if it falls through, we'll still talk about it.
We're still going to talk about it, yeah.
Will we?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we will.
We have the
We will.
springer. Yeah, so be out on the lookout for that. And lastly, got to thank the lovely patrons over at patreon.com/Karstcast. If you'd like to become a patron and get in on all the fun perks like exclusive bonus episodes, Q&As, shout-outs at the end of every episode, which we'll get into in a second, as well as Zoom Hangouts, head on over to Patreon.
Which we are going to be announcing
pretty soon.
in the next couple days.
It has to be in the next couple days.
Yeah.
Head on over to patreon.com/Karstcast, where you can either be a $5 patron and get access to most things, or a $15 patron if you'd like to support us a little extra and get your questions answered in these regular episodes, like Grant Gow and many others. It's just a great way to support Jeff and I. And that's the dealio. Here are those names that we promised. Thank you so much. Stalling because it's loading. Sort by name. Thank you. Addison Ware, AJ Ford, Allison Grace, Ben Chow, Blake Root, Boat, Boyoyoyoy, Brandon Yu, Brock Schultz, Camilla, David Sir, Eden, Grant Gow, Harry Remedianakis, Haytham Khan, I Don't Live in Ohio, Iva, Jaden Easton, Jacob Colness, Jane V, John Van Hout, Joshua Krizwicki, Judy S, Justin Dickinson, KDT, Kaylee Patney, Liv Rob, Molly Overbow, Manu Ausen, Martin Deff, Martina, Mary Lee Borslow, me, lovely daughter Pearl, Micah Simmons, Monroe Page, Nora Barathova, Parks, Numo Nultrem. I'm not going to read this. I'm just going to say Numo. Riley Ost, Robert Burke, Sam Farr, Sophia Arieta, Stella Perry, Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, Smitty Werben, Jagerman, Jensen, 10 Billion, The Monopoly Man, Tom Likes Beans, Vegard Strom, Vera S., and Wes Kinley, Xavier Fossier, and Youssef A. Thank you all for the for being patrons.
Support.
Yeah, for the support.
Yeah,
man,
what it's all about for us at the Karstcast, us here at the Karstcast.
Yep, Karstcast Studios. Jeff, do you have anything else you'd want to say today for the people out there?
I want to say that I noticed you switched back to the AirPods.
Yeah,
and I think it's a wise choice.
Thank you. Yeah, they're just more comfortable on the ears, and
Also, last thing, your hair's looking pretty good.
Jeff, thank you so much. I have to owe this one to the new hair product I'm using, the leave-in conditioner and the curl gel, both of which I think I'll link or post about sometime in the future. If you guys want a hair,
hopefully you can get a sponsorship. That's what you should get.
I know. Look at that curl. You know what I mean? That's not
I don't know if
great,
that's like
but,
the curl you really want to. I think it's more of the ones up here.
It's the ones up here. It just
you're like, look at this one random.
Yeah,
curl.
yeah.
Anyways, So I'll catch you on the flip side.
Yeah, I think I'll catch you on the flip side as well.
Flip side.